Hello, my lovely anime weaves, I should call you. Um, just a quick shout out to Anime Lover Weeb, Angel Rose, Mikasa, Kui Kagome, Freezies, sorry if I messed up your name, and Stephanie or something like that. I'm sorry if you messed up your name. This is part 3 of Kageyama X Listener. Please enjoy your point of view. Carlosino lost all their practice games they played. It seemed that they were off their game. Everyone was doing new things too, but it was invading or invalid or something like that. Practice now. I haven't played volleyball in a while now, so I thought maybe I should practice. Before we can do the training camp, all the boys had to jump and see what their highest reach was. So I decided to copy. I ran towards the basketball net and jumped as high as I could. I was exactly the same height as Nishinoya. But I could jump maybe slightly higher than Hinata could. I mentally smiled. Then I realized everyone in the gym was staring at me. I grabbed a volleyball and ran outside. I practiced my sets, but by setting the wall, then I heard something come from the other gym. I'm giving you a toss that won't be stopped by blockers. But then I never get better. I looked inside and see Hinata and Kageyama fighting and Yachi looking scared as hell. What do you think? Sorry. What do you think will be an effective weapon for us? A complete quick or an absolute sorry. Sorry, I'm not speaking very hot right now. A complete quick or an absolute useless quick. Kageyama yelled and grabbed Hinata's shirt. Stop fighting, guys, Yachi stuttered. I want to be strong enough to compete by myself, Hinata replies, ignoring Yachi. Your selfishness is going to destroy the team balance. Kageyama shakes Hinata and throws him to the ground. Throws him to the floor. Sorry. What do I do? I'm frozen on my feet. I've been in fights before, but never had I been a bystander. How do I stop the fight? It escalated or escalates or something like that and becomes a fight involving violence. I'm shaking. I could do something, but my body's frozen. Someone help! Then Yachi's voice snapped me out. Kageyama, Hinata! I ran to them and broke them apart. Violence doesn't do anything. Kageyama and Hinata don't talk at all for the next day of training camp. Sorry, I'm stuttering a lot. They don't even practice together, and Hinata misses all his spikes. I try to distance myself as much as I can. So right now I'm reading a romantic book in English called Fairy. I walked to the cherry blossom tree and I sat here. Her long brown hair flowing behind her. She was smiling and looking up where the cherry blossom petals were falling. It was the perfect moment, but at the moment, she looked graceful and light and ethery or something like that. Sorry. She looked almost like a fairy. A rewound Athens or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't read that well. I've never heard that word before. I searched it up on my phone. Extremely delicate and light in a way that seems not to be of this world. Wow, that's a word I remember. Maybe someday a guy will see me like how the guy sees his crush in this book. Who am I kidding? This is real life. Nobody looks like a fairy in real life. When in reality somebody already does see her not as a fairy but as a queen. Okay. Sorry I'm stuttering a lot. I'm recording this at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't go to sleep at all last night. So how's your guys' day going? Mine's going good. Alright, chapter 12. I feel bad that Hinata and Kageyama aren't doing so well. So I decided to help Hinata in spiking by replacing Kageyama. I thought there was nothing special about my volleyball skills, but Hinata was surprised that I have the same reactions or something like that. Sorry. As Kageyama. Ever so, Hinata keeps missing. Hinata, I called out, snapping him out of his train of thought. Yes. What about we practice with other setters? Oh, okay, he replies. So, still not listening. Sorry. We walk to the other gym and see Koro, Bakuto, Akashi, Kenma, and Tsuki. Suki, that's all I'm gonna call him, is Suki. Hinata played 3-on-3 with them while I watched. It was nice to watch others play instead of being the one playing for a change. Hinata and I learned a few spiking tricks from Bakuto. I think that is, Bakuto or something like that. And I taught Hinata about tempo, which I assume would help with his weirdo quick. It was completely exhausting for the last day, and the managers have to serve breakfast and other stuff. But at the end of the day, there was a barbecue. I was glad we were treated after 3 days of hard work instead of 3 days of staying at home and playing the violin. That's a mood. I hung out with the other managers. Well, nothing really more like Yachi and I followed Kyoko around. Who was with the other managers, but then we introduced ourselves and I started to feel more at ease. I'm just going to get more meat, Yachi said awkwardly. Wait, you can't leave me here. I'm coming with you. I followed Yachi around awkwardly, trying to hide behind her when I thought people were looking at me. And then I started panicking when Yachi ate a charred piece of meat, and all the tall, scary-looking guys started to surround us. Go away, you're scaring us, I said, and interesting, something like that. Hinata's fighting position in an attempt to protect Yachi. They all dispersed eventually, and I'm shaking because they looked so scary when they loomed over us. I think that's how you say it. Sorry. After that, Kurosano had to leave. Bye, Yuki, or something like that. I call to the Fukudoi manager. Sorry if I say that name wrong. Who I managed to become friends with. Everyone else said their goodbyes, and we went to the bus. Unfortunately for me, Yachi was sitting next to Hinata, so I sat right at the back of the bus, pulling out my headphones and started listening to music. Ellen, Kageyama called out, trying to get my attention. Yeah, I half yelled because my music was too loud, so I took off my headphones. Can I sit next to you? Since Hinata's with Yachi. Oh, sure, I replied with a shy whisper. Throughout the bus ride, I stared out the window, stopping myself from staring at Kageyama. And also, so he wouldn't see my slight blush. But then I got annoyed that the sun keeps shining into my eyes. Apparently, that's not what Kageyama thought, though. Kageyama's point of view. Ellen was looking out the window. Unfortunately, I didn't have the choice to do that. And I can't look at the other side because Suki was there, and I swear I saw him smirk. So I couldn't help but stuffily look forward and glance at Ellen a few times. Then I became really nervous about what I should do. What position should my hands be in? Do I look too awkward? Ugh, I shouldn't care. She isn't looking anyways. The sun came out from the clouds, and I just couldn't help myself but look at Ellen. It's like the sunlight wrapped around her body, giving her a golden era. Is this some sort of magic? It is not possible for the sun to make you look like such a goddess. Ew, that sounds like something Tonka would say. Okay, that's true. I glimpsed at the thought I sounded like a perv. Then it's really there isn't really anything special to her. What do I think? Why do I think these things? By the time we got back, it was already pretty late, so everyone had to go home. But Hinata asked if we could start a practice and stay and practice our quicks. When I hesitantly replied, "Fine, your point of view." The moment we were told to go home, I dashed to my place and grabbed my violin and ran back out. It felt like years since I played the violin. I walked to my secret place. It's where I practice and nobody lives around. So nobody would see me. It was a 15-minute walk to the top of a small hill with a single tree on it just inside Majing or something like that. Sorry if I said that name wrong. It was a really beautiful view, especially since the sun is setting right now. The hill wasn't very high, but I could still see Kurosano High School from here. I took out my violin and bow. out of the case and started playing the soft, sweet sound that I loved filling the air and immediately put me to ease. It seemed like the flies were when I played the violin. It seemed like time flies when I play the violin, because just like that, 1 hour passed and it was already dark. But it wouldn't hurt to play one more song. Hinata's point of view. Kageyama and I made up and we walked home together when my superhuman ears heard a really nice sound. Kageyama, do you hear that? Hear what? Nobody's out at this time, dumbass. It's super quiet, of course. You wouldn't be able to hear. I shot back at him. We both we both were silent to try and hear the noise. There it was again. It sounded like a violin. Why would someone be playing the violin at this time? I started looking for where the sound came from. Then I saw a girl on a hill dancing and playing the violin. Her hair following her movements, and the moonlight creating a calm elegrium effect. Sorry if I said that wrong. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Kageyama, look, I said, pointing at the girl. Isn't that Ellen? He asked, squinting and recognizing her hair, then swished around her, and the way the light around her made her look as if she was glowing. Oh my gosh, it is. Come on, Kageyama, let's go. I started running off to Ellen, and Kageyama followed. I stopped and crouched behind the tree, Kageyama copying me. From here, we could see and hear Ellen clearly when she twirls and skips around the hill to match with the rhythm of the music she plays. The song was elegant. Yeah, I think that's elegant. Yeah, elegant and emotional. It sounded kind of sad. It felt like the song stretched for an hour, but by the time it ended, it felt like it was only a minute, and I had no idea what to do next. Ellen started packing up her violin and could notice us at any moment, so we might as well stop hiding. Ellen, that was so good! I practically screamed at her from excitement, and she makes a quiet screeching noise. Hinata, you scared me. Ellen stands up and clenches her violin tightly to her chest. Her body language screamed nervous, but her face only says stoke or something like that. You should perform, and then you'll become famous, Hinata said while jumping up and down. Ellen blushed from the compliment, finally breaking her stoke mask. Then she realized Kageyama is here too, and blushed more. But I'll be going home now. She looks down and speed walks down the hill, still hugging her violin. We should get going too, Kageyama. Hinata starts following the direction that Ellen went. Kageyama's point of view. I didn't know Ellen could play the violin. It was at home. It was at home already, and I couldn't sleep, so I was just sitting. Okay, sorry. I was at home already and I couldn't sleep. So I was just setting the ball while laying down. At first, I thought Ellen was just a normal girl and I should focus on volleyball. Sorry, I just sound like I was dying over there. At first, I thought Ellen was just a normal girl and I should focus on volleyball rather than her. But she surprised me because her song was so sad, but by the way she smiled when she played was different. Maybe there's more to her than I thought. Chapter 13. Your point of view. The next day at school was the completely new routine. The next day at school was the complete normal routine. But I started to think I shouldn't really be the manager of the volleyball club. During games, Kyoko sits at the bench and Yachi stands at the side of the court and writes down everyone's skills and when they need what they need to approve on. With me next to her, I'm supposed to help her, but I feel like I'm just a distraction. And I can't help her since I only watch a certain raven-haired setter. I didn't even listen to things that Takeda sensei or Coach Yukai says because I don't listen to anything unless I absolutely have to. Yachi said that Ernich High, something like that, premiums, I think that's how you say it, are coming up. Of course I'm excited, but it's such a big event and so little to do to help. Kageyama and Hinata Kageyama and Hinata have made up, but they still can't get the quick right. Maybe I should just quit the volleyball club and join the music club. It's not like Krasno needs 3 managers. Anyways, it's weird. There was only one person at the training camp who appreciated Krasno having 3 managers, but it was the same guy. It was some guy that was like Tanaka. Sorry, I keep saying his name wrong. Tanaka and Nishinoya. Sigh. Training just ended and I was about to walk out. Ellen, can you practice with me? I turn around to see Kageyama and Yachi both looking at me explensively or something like that. I'm surprised he wasn't practicing with Hinata, but Hinata had already dashed off somewhere. Fine, I replied flatly. I was getting annoyed that I had a crush on Kageyama. Kageyama was practicing a new kind of toss. It was the type of toss where the highest point is where the spiker hits it, and Kageyama was trying to make the ball land on a few bottles, but it wasn't working for him. So he asked me to spike it. It worked, but whenever he did it without me, it didn't. Why don't you try imagining the spiker instead of the bottles? I said as if I were the most obvious thing in the world. As if it were the most obvious thing in the world. I practiced practice these types of tosses in junior high, and that's what I was in advanced to do too. I was advised to do too. So Kageyama did that, and it finally worked. I could see that he was proud, and I couldn't help but blush because I think he was smiling. That's rare, but cute too. I think his smile is courageous, because when I left the gym, I wasn't annoyed anymore, and a small smile was evading on my face. The next day, during volleyball practice, Hinata and Kageyama did their quick attack, and they both realized something. He's different. I was practicing with Kageyama, so I expected it, but when I saw Hinata, he had his eyes open. I wonder what he's been doing all this time. But I'm ecstatic that they were able to pull off a quick, and that seemed impossible. And also that I was able to see Kageyama's adorable smile again. I also saw that everyone else had been practicing new tricks too. Nishinoya was setting, Suga was spiking. Everyone was learning a signature or something like that. I don't know how to say that word. Attack. Yamaguchi learned how to do a jump float serve. Hinata had also mastered flights and rebounds. I know I said that word wrong. Oh my god. And even Suki learned delayed spiking. And getting used to reading getting used to read blocking. And I thought he didn't care about volleyball. Everyone was doing something. It made me want to do something too. All their progress is making me jealous and making me think I'm lazy, which I totally am not. My hands started to crave the feeling of my violin, and my ears craving the something sound of its music. Do I use that right? Authentic or something is such a pretty word. It sounds pretty, and it even means something pretty. Something I'm not. I sighed. Kageyama's point of view. We were actually able to pull off the new quick. I mentally squealed like a little kid. Then I realized I was actually smiling. I whipped my hands up to cover my mouth, hoping nobody saw. That would be embarrassing, especially if Ellen saw, since Hinata Boke said my smile was creepy. I looked over at her direction. She was smiling. Then she glimpsed, then she giggled. Then she glimpsed, then she smiled. Then she glanced, then she sighed. Wow, for once that's an expression that isn't stoic or bored. But even so, she was just too cute for me to handle. I could feel my cheeks heating up. Her smile must be courageous or something because for a while I couldn't take my own smile off my face. Okay, this is Suki's point of view. Why aren't Kageyama and Ellen dating yet? I think sorry. Why aren't Kageyama and Ellen dating yet? I think as I once again cringed at how obvious and yet oblivious they are to each other's feelings. I'm not even bothered to say something, but I can see Hinata creeping up to Kageyama with his stupidity leaning face on. Thinking about Ellen, huh? Hinata asked Kageyama. No boke? Sorry, that just made me laugh. No boke, Kageyama yelled and replied and attempted to kick Hinata, but Hinata's 3 centimeters legs are somehow fast enough to dodge. Thinking about Ellen. Oof. Okay. I'm sorry I messed up a lot. It's just crazy reading it and laughing. Anyways, chapter 14. Please, after Kurasuno, please, okay, sorry, I don't know. Please, after Kurasuno goes to nationals and wins every game they play, then Shimizu Senpai will leave and all her fans will come after me. You have to say, Yachi pleaded after I told her about my own complaints or something like that. Complaints. And now people keep looking at us. It was first break and I'm too lazy to do anything else, so I just talked about random things with Yachi. Sigh. Yachi is more cuter than she gives herself credit for. For the fans... Okay, sorry. I'm moving stuff. For the fan... Hang on. I'm trying to remember where... Or if I don't think she's... Okay, hang on. If fans don't come after her after she needs to do it, makes the puppy dog eyes she gives me now. If I don't think she was cute, then I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't give in. Fine, I said, rolling my eyes. Then suddenly the door opened and we saw Kageyama and Hinata panting. It looks like they raced each other here. But the race must have been like 2 seconds because our classrooms are only 2 rooms away, and now they're even arguing who's going in first and trying to push each other to the side, making me look at them with an expression saying, "What the hell are you doing?" Kageyama practically threw Hinata aside and walked over to me. Then Hinata rushed over beside him. We started to fall behind in English. Can you help us? Hinata asked. Then nudging Kageyama to do the same. Can you help us? Kageyama stuttered. vulturing his eyes from my gaze. I think it's vulturing. I'm sorry. His eyes from my gaze, and becoming very fidgety. Yeah, fidgety. I noticed Hinata shooed a weird smug look face at him. Sure, I said, confused, but by Kageyama's change of behavior and Hinata's expression. Kageyama and Hinata sat at the desk next to Yachi and mine, and Hinata started complaining about how they're learning hard English words and stuff. Kageyama gives me a note with a list of a bunch of words in English. I need help with these words. I looked through the list. Explosion, censurances. Sorry, I don't know most of these words. Solidance, kindness, seriously. We learned this last time. No wonder Kageyama's so mean, but he's not mean to me. He seems nervous around me. What does that mean? Something? Wait, does that mean something? Ugh, whatever. And then I stopped at a certain word. Ethenital or something like that. Oh, it's that pretty word again. I smiled out of satisfaction. Just the thought of the word ethereally, putting a pretty picture in my mind and puts me at ease. Kageyama's point of view. Ellen helped me learn the definition of the words, and Yachi was helping Hinata. I was surprised when she told me the definition of ethereal or something like that. Sorry, it's wrong for sure. It's like the word ethnically or something like that was describing Ellen. I used to have no word for her beauty, but now I do. I don't know. Kageyama can smile nicely. Hinata interrupted my train of thoughts. What? I am not smiling, damn it. I hold back from throwing my chair at him. What did he say? I smiled nicely? Haha. It's true though. Your smile is nice. You should smile more, Ellen says to me, as if she was reading my mind. She then stabbed my heart with her angelic smile. One day, I'll die from that smile. I think I got a fever just looking at her. Ugh, I'm making it so obvious that I like her. Meanwhile, in your point of view, oh my gosh, is Kageyama getting a fever? I started to panic because Kageyama's face is so red. I put my hand on his forehead. I put my hand on his forehead. Kageyama, you're so hot. I say a bit too loudly. Kageyama's face was getting more red. Hinata is looking at me like I'm an alien, and Yachi's face looks shocked. What? You think Kageyama's hot? Hinata asked. Then I panicked more. No, I meant his temperature. But I mean, he's not ugly. He is hot when what? Kageyama, let me take you to the nurse's office. I hurriedly grabbed Kageyama's hand and dragged him out of the classroom. Kageyama's hands are big compared to mine, and they're warm and surprisingly soft. even though he plays volleyball. What? Wait, why am I thinking this? Once we got to the nurse's office. Okay, sorry. Once we got to the nurse's office, I slammed the door open, frustrated from my thoughts. Miss, Kageyama is super hot. I mean, he has a fever, I yelled, still stressed out. Okay. Still stressed over my thoughts. And then I realized we're still holding hands, so I threw his hand away and was panicking so much from the inside, and I swear my heart was beating a thousand beats per second or more. Then I sprinted out of the room. It felt like my face was on fire, and I'm sure it looked like it. Wait, what if that was what happened to Kageyama? Oof. I'm gonna end the chapter here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll try and do better next time. I'll do 5 stories, because this time I only did 3 stories. They were long story chapters. And let me know if you want a Kenma X reader or Bakugo X reader, any type of reader, because I'm willing to do that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for. Wait, how many subscribers do I have? Hang on. Thank you guys so much for 22 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And again, sorry I messed up a lot. I'll do better. I'll read 5 chapters instead of 4. Originally I do wait, hold on. I originally do 5 chapters. I'll do 6 chapters because I only did 4. So I'll do 2 extra stories. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you like it. I know I liked it. This story is really interesting and really cute. Comment down below if you want a part 4. If you do, I will get it out as soon as possible, just like I did for part 3. Or for part 3. Sorry, I'm half asleep. But just let me know if you want a part 4. I will do that. I'll get it out as soon as possible, and I'll also give shout outs. And yeah, love you guys. Bye.